The atmosphere surrounding the Danish royal family may appear serene to the public eye, polished by centuries of traditions and regal restraint, but behind palace walls, emotions run high and decisions reverberate through generations. In the latest twist to emerge from Amalienborg Palace, a revelation has ignited fiery debates, stirred heartbreak, and renewed scrutiny over the fate of Queen Margrethe II's youngest son, Prince Joachim. As Denmark looks on, puzzled and captivated, the lingering question echoes through the royal corridors and public consciousness alike. Why has Prince Joachim been left with nothing, while King Frederik X becomes the sole inheritor of their mother's royal legacy? To understand this royal dilemma, we must journey back to the roots of the Danish monarchy and the complex web of lineage, protocol, and favoritism. Queen Margrethe II, the longest reigning monarch in Danish history until her abdication, held her crown with strength and devotion. For over 5 decades, she was the embodiment of royal duty, navigating turbulent eras of political change, cultural shifts, and personal losses. But despite her celebrated reign, the Queen has now left a trail of controversy in her wake, one that centers squarely on her sons, Frederik and Joachim. While King Frederik X has seamlessly stepped into the role of monarch following his mother's abdication in January 2024, it was the absence of Prince Joachim from any mention of inheritance that caught everyone off guard. The once bright-eyed prince, often viewed as the more rebellious and emotionally complex brother, now finds himself standing at the margins of Denmark's royal future. There was no grand title offered, no estate passed down, no formal recognition as a co-heir to the royal lineage. The silence surrounding Joachim's future spoke louder than any royal proclamation. For years, public comparisons between Frederik and Joachim have ebbed and flowed, fueled by their contrasting personalities, choices, and trajectories. Frederik, the crown prince turned king, married the Australian-born Mary Donaldson in a fairy tale wedding that captivated the world. Together, they embodied the perfect royal couple, dignified, diplomatic, and modern. Their family of 4 children, including the poised and increasingly visible Princess Isabella, further cemented their place as the future of the Danish monarchy. Joachim, by contrast, followed a rockier path. His first marriage to Alexandra, Countess of Frederiksberg, ended in divorce, and his second marriage to Princess Marie brought a different kind of attention. He relocated to France, partly due to friction within the royal household, and took on military and diplomatic roles far from the core of the Danish court. His distance from royal affairs and his vocal frustration with certain royal decisions, including the controversial stripping of his children's prince and princess titles in 2022, gradually eroded his standing within the monarchy. Queen Margrethe's decision to remove those titles shocked Denmark and visibly wounded Joachim, who gave emotional interviews expressing his pain and confusion. He insisted that he was blindsided and heartbroken on behalf of his children. At the time, royal commentators speculated that the move was a strategic modernizing effort, but the emotional rift it caused between the Queen and her youngest son was palpable. This was not just about titles, it was about legacy, dignity, and inclusion. When Margrethe abdicated and handed the crown solely to Frederik, many believed that a gesture of reconciliation might follow, a token inheritance, a symbolic estate, or an honorary role for Joachim. Instead, nothing came, and that silence has left observers scrambling for answers. Some royal insiders have quietly hinted that Margrethe's favoritism towards Frederik was always evident. As the heir, he was groomed from a young age to embody the role of king. Joachim, meanwhile, was frequently seen as the spare, an unfortunate title that has haunted many second-born royals across Europe. But beyond mere favoritism, there appears to be a deeper issue at play, a matter of trust, continuity, and image. The Danish monarchy has long been admired for its ability to adapt. Queen Margrethe herself was a forward-thinking monarch, deeply involved in the arts and known for her intellectual vigor. Yet her decisions in her later years, particularly regarding Joachim, have raised questions about whether personal judgments influenced institutional strategy. Did she see Joachim's lifestyle and choices as incompatible with the evolving image of the monarchy? Was his physical and emotional distance, his move to Paris, his candid public statements, seen as too risky for an institution rooted in discretion? Moreover, the royal family has quietly undergone a consolidation of power, focusing attention and resources around King Frederik and Queen Mary. The couple's appeal both in Denmark and internationally has proven invaluable. Their children, especially Princess Isabella and Prince Christian, now occupy the spotlight that Joachim's children once glimpsed. In a monarchy that thrives on symbolism, the Queen's final act of exclusion may have been more strategic than personal. By centering everything around Frederik, Margrethe ensured a streamlined royal image, focused, modern, and united under one clear lineage. But at what cost? For Prince Joachim, the consequences have been deeply personal. His repeated attempts to carve out a meaningful role, in diplomacy, military service, and even in private life, have been overshadowed by a sense of abandonment. His children, once proud bearers of royal titles, now face a future in limbo. His relationship with the Danish public has shifted from that of a cherished younger prince to a figure of sympathy and quiet tension. His wife, Princess Marie, has often voiced support and stood by him through the storm, but the couple's increasing distance from Denmark only underlines the growing divide. The Danish public, known for their affection towards their royals, has responded with mixed emotions. Many sympathize with Joachim, seeing him as a victim of a cold and calculated strategy. Others support the Queen's decisions, arguing that modernization requires painful sacrifices. But few can deny the emotional toll this inheritance decision has taken on Joachim and the wider family dynamic. In recent months, as King Frederik X has taken on his full responsibilities as monarch, there have been subtle yet telling gestures that reaffirm the palace's direction. Official appearances with Queen Mary and their children are frequent, glowing media coverage ensures their popularity remains high, and the royal calendar increasingly orbits around Frederik's vision for the future. Meanwhile, Joachim's presence is mostly felt through foreign assignments or quiet family updates shared with minimal fanfare. Queen Margrethe has largely stayed silent since her abdication, retreating into private life and artistic pursuits. But her decisions continue to shape the royal narrative. In denying Prince Joachim any inheritance, be it material, symbolic, or institutional, she made a definitive statement about the monarchy's future and who belongs in its inner circle. It was not just an act of exclusion, but one of consolidation, narrowing the royal spotlight to a single branch of the family. What lies ahead for Prince Joachim remains uncertain. Will he accept his fate and continue building a life abroad, far from the Danish crown he once stood beside? Or will he find a way to reassert his identity and relevance in a system that has, for now, closed its doors? One thing is clear, the story is far from over. As Denmark's royal family navigates its new era under King Frederik, the absence of Prince Joachim and his children from the royal stage will continue to raise eyebrows, stir emotions, and provoke debate. In a family where tradition runs deep and every gesture carries centuries of meaning, the decision to exclude Joachim from the Queen's inheritance marks not just a personal heartbreak, but a turning point in the very soul of the monarchy. So now we turn to you. How should a royal family balance tradition with fairness, duty with emotion, and modernization with loyalty?